I didn't think the platform would be that large, but either way, I'm super happy about it. I think that's really awesome that I've got that kind of crowd going on. It gives everybody a platform. That's the big thing. I just want to be able to spark the conversation. There we go. Now we're live on YouTube. Perfect. Held problems. But anyways, I also was wearing I don't know if you could see it, it's my Super Saturday shirt. Got that last year. Be heading to Super Saturday this year too. I think they're making some moves over there to get everything all together for this year. And but over on the YouTube side, we got everybody up. We got Stephen Hayes and Peekaboo in there. So hey everybody. Just I actually got the Facebook side rolling first. YouTube was fighting me today. But so like I said, last weekend I was in Grand Rapids at the Bumper to Bumper Auto Value Tech Expo. That was a really good time I had there. Next week I'm going to be in Denver. I decided to take the plunge kind of, and I'm going to go to the they call it boot camp, but it's the instructor onboarding process for CTI. So I'm going to be doing that. That's what I'll be doing this coming weekend. It'll be Wednesday, I think, is my travel day. So I had a couple opportunities on that. I had a couple different companies approach, and really, to be honest, CTI was actually the only one that kind of followed through with everything. I had originally Napa had approached me, and at the time I just wasn't really super interested in doing that. And then, of course, with everything changing, kind of career-wise recently, that opened back up, and then I think they were going through some issues with, I can't remember if it was budget or it was end of year, so nobody was doing anything. But CTI came back around, so I'm going to go do that onboarding process, see how it goes, see if I make the cut, and I'm not going to do it full time. I'm still gonna. My business is extremely busy here in Oklahoma, so that's kind of taking the lion's share of all my time. That and this, and building all the curriculum here. We are, I think, 2 or 3 classes on the Patreon page away from being complete with the J2534 course. That's panned out. There's a little bit that's changed. What's funny is last week GM changed some stuff on there, so I'm already going back and changing that. So the class is already updated after it's. I'm not even completed teaching it online. It's been done locally once for some tech students, but the class has already been changed after it's been taught once. So it's revised all the way up to, we'll see, the last previous revision was the 15th, so 2 days ago we had 2 days ago there was a revision to the class, so it is up to date, I'm telling you. So that's going to be a big one. But then after next week, after I get back from CTI, I'll be coming back Sunday. So again, I don't know how I'm going to work out the live stream like I normally do. I don't want to start missing any of them for sure. I've stuck with, I promised the guys on Patreon that it's 3 a month, and I haven't missed a single one. I've done every single Sunday since I started that for months now. So I've not missed one in a long time. But I had to miss last week. I just tried to get it done. I was trying to do it in the airport, and there was just too much noise, not a good spot to do it. The following week, we have Vision. So all of you ladies and gentlemen in the automotive industry, if you have not been to Vision, that is the Super Bowl of automotive training. It's gonna be good, and I see quite a few people over on the Facebook platform that will be there. Isaac Rodiesel, we got Ray. Ray's coming all the way. I kid you not. This is not a joke. Ray is coming from Zimbabwe, from Africa. Ray travels. I think last year he missed it, but the year before he was there, I can't remember. I know you missed a year, Ray. I'm trying to think what year it was he missed. Either way, it's got to be like a $10,000 trip to come here. And he travels that far for this training. That's how important this training is to if you're in the automotive industry. So it's pretty interesting. So I'm highly impressed. But I see Ben Jameson's in here. Hopefully he'll be there. Bob Hype. Bob, if you're not going to be there, I don't know what we're going to do. Got Justin Miller, Hands, Brandon Steckler's going to be there. He has to be there. He's teaching. So it'll be great to see. This is our big thing every year. You know, all of us guys across the country, we talk all the time online, but we'd like to get together and network in person. That's the biggest part of Vision, is the networking. It's massive. Another big announcement for that is if you have a Train by Text t-shirt, if you have a TBT t-shirt, or if you don't, you can order one now. Zach McLean says he'll be there. Order a TBT t-shirt. Get one. If we catch you walking around with a TBT t-shirt, if you're wearing it, your Train by Text t-shirt, grab one of us. We'll be wearing our embroidered member t-shirts. You won't be able to miss us. Black shirts, multi-tone, with the Train by Text logo. It says member in red. We will give you a color vinyl. If you're wearing your TBT t-shirt around Vision, we're going to give you a color vinyl. So we made that announcement on the Facebook page. So remember, we want to see these Train by Text t-shirts all over Vision. That's the point. We want the information to be out there. So, and to answer the question, no, we don't give away training information. We're there to inspire you guys to go to training events. That's the point. We want to see you guys at Vision. We want to see you get inspired by the small little tidbits of the videos that we do, and make it a point to realize that there is some amazing training out there. So Chris Martino says I'm holding on to his shirt. No, but I have all the shirts here, and I'm driving to Vision. It's about 3.5 hours away. It's in Kansas City. So if you're interested in going, I'm putting the link in YouTube right now. It's visionkc.com, because it's it's technically Overland Park, but it's right outside of Kansas City. Put it on the there we go. Put it over here too, on the Facebook platform. And I spelled it wrong. Look at that. Try that again. I did bring Tommy his shirts last weekend in Grand Rapids, so Tommy's got his. But anyways, that's a big thing. So if we see you, stop one of us, we'll give you a vinyl. If we don't have one, I know that Brian's going to have a bunch of them. So he says, would it be possible for me to bang any harder on my keyboard? So my mic, it's right there. So that was super loud, I'm sure. It's pretty sensitive, so it picks up keyboard banging around pretty well. Javier says, greetings from sunny California. I'm a little bit jealous because I was out there working on my van today. It was pretty cold. But don't forget about Diagnostic Network. If you guys haven't joined that, check it out. You can get a 7-day trial, no credit card required. It's another big platform that we use to talk between all of us guys that kind of have this up at. There's a lot of guys there that are really high level, some super intelligent guys. So I kind of just sat back and watch and read and just absorb all the information. But it's a platform similar to, a lot of people akin it to like IATN, just because Scott Brown's involved. And Scott Brown was there early on with IATN, and he retired as the president, I think 2017 or 18, can't remember what year it was. He retired just recently. Started up Diagnostic Network, more structure, definitely something that I would say higher information level, not nearly as noisy as IATN. Chris, the only reason you don't have your shirt, Chris, is because I haven't had to ship you anything yet. Like, I was going to meet Tommy, so I took the shirts with him. Or took the shirts to him. I think Richard had ordered some other stuff, so I put his shirts in his package. Mike Robinson let me borrow his J-Box when my Bosch took a crash, just died on me. So Mike had so gracefully sent me his J-Box to borrow, or one of his J-Boxes to borrow until I got a replacement. So when I shipped it back to him, I put his shirts in there. So Chris, to explain to you, I'm not holding your shirts from you. He says lies. Anyways, I mean less fighting. Anyways, so I will be at Vision. All of us will have our new shirts. There we go. Fixed Chris up for everybody. Give him some power. Don't let it go to your head. But I thought I'd kick off this this chat a little sooner because I got a lot more to talk about. Got a lot more to go over, or at least I thought I had a lot more to go over, and now I'm just about out of information, which is good because I'm going to have to kick over the Patreon side where we're doing the. It's a paid platform. Patreon is a paid platform that I use. You see the little ad over here somewhere. I think it's a picture, but it's a paid platform. I am teaching my J2534 class. It is a in the classroom setting. It is a full 8-hour class. It's 7 hours and some change once you factor in breaks and such. But the class is designed to take a technician that has never flashed a vehicle before, never updated software on a module, and give them all the tools they would need and the understanding of what equipment would be required and how to set up the laptop and what software and hardware requirements there are and what equipment needs and limitations there are of the platform, all the way up to where they are able to successfully complete a flash on the most common vehicles we see, along with having some skills and some unconventional methods to troubleshoot whenever there is an issue. So that's what the class is really for. That's how it's designed. But within every hour section that I built, I always make sure there's some kind of golden nugget of information to be able to supply those technicians that are doing module programming daily with something that's really interesting, something that's helpful. If I just write a beginner class, that's all it's geared towards. I like to always put in, no matter what level of class I've taken, there's always been those tidbits, little golden nuggets of information that makes it worth going. Even if it's something that I'm taking, even though I feel like I may be 100% familiar with the content, it's still great. So I want it to where the class is still worth it, even to those technicians that flash daily. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing module flashes, software updates. I'm doing all of this stuff on a daily basis. So that is what I do for a living is mobile diagnosis, module programming, and immobilizer stuff. So after this J2534 class is done on the Patreon platform, we are going to actually roll straight into the advanced level Nissan class. It's a 4-hour course, and it's an advanced J2534 Nissan class. Anyone that thinks that, we wouldn't need that much, I promise there's 20 hours worth of information for Nissan. I cram in some of the best tips and tricks I can for that. So that class will be directly following the completion of the J2534. We're going to roll into the advanced level Nissan. Then we're going to get off the J2534 platform, and we're probably going to go into some more diagnosis, some more tips and tricks for the mobile technician. We're going to hit some immobilizer stuff. So I've got, trust me, the whole year's panned out for training. So if you have the ability to sit down and you absorb information well on an online platform, training like this, Patreon, just go to patreon.com/Keith Perkins, and you can sign up there. It's a month-to-month thing. So if you were today's the 17th, I get this question a lot. What if I pay on the 31st? If you pay on the 31st of a month, you're going to get charged at the 1st of the following month also. But what that does when you pay on the 31st, that gives you access to all of the information that happened throughout that month. Everything that happened out the month that you paid for, you get the entire month's worth of information. And then you'll be charged for the following month as well. Once the first hits, then you'll have access to everything on the first. Phil, the Nissan class will be taught online directly following the J2534 class that's on the Patreon platform now. There are some possible things in the works for around the country, being able to take this class in person. Currently, it's only taught locally. I'm in the works with some other individuals doing some stuff outside of Oklahoma. So it says Keith absorbs information like I absorb calories. Chris, I absorb calories like you absorb information. Well, no, probably a little more. Anyways, Mario says he hates feeling uncertain. Module programming is his most uncertain area. And unless you're doing it really often, it is easy to fall behind. And there are so many scenarios. I mean, just updating the software on one module on the vehicle can be different than another. GM is a great example of that. If you do a software update on an HVAC module, you may be complete right after the module's done. You may have to run through a routine where you do a calibration of all the actuators, the blend door actuators. Then if you do a software update on a transmission on a 2018, you may need to go through and run quite a few different relearns in order to get the transmission back to where it's drivable and it's not going to feel weird. I mean, if you do a software update on like the new 8 and 10 speeds of ZF transmissions, there's a big learning curve for that transmission after the software update's done. So you're going to need to test drive the vehicle. So that alone, just in one vehicle, two different modules, the programming sequence is completely different. There's lots of times where you really have to read the service information. So it's hard. Chris Fortino says, YOLO, Mario, hit the brick button. So we use the term brick a lot. A brick is any time you've attempted to flash a module or had a failure during a flash and it's caused the module to no longer even communicate. Under most circumstances, the module has got to be replaced. So we call it a brick. If you brick one, it went from a working module to a non-working module, which basically the physical module is about as worth about as much as a brick, so almost nothing. But anyways, yeah, that class is available online. It is a paid platform. It is a paid class. So it's not something that I teach for free, unfortunately. It's exactly what it is for me, the brick button. Mario, it's okay. If you don't brick a module as someone who flashes vehicles, you are probably just saying no to a lot of them, which is fine. It just means that you haven't reached outside of your comfort zone. We've all reached outside of our comfort zone, especially in this automotive industry. But I missed last week on the Patreon channel, so this week we got a twofer. So it's going to be probably a 2.5 hour class that we're going to squeeze in this week, just so we can cover 4 last week's. Phil says he's comfortable with GM, Ford, and Chrysler, not Nissan or Europeans. So Europeans are a whole nother animal. I can say that this class doesn't cover any European stuff. I touch on some of the differences sometimes just to explain why a certain piece of hardware may be recommended or not. But under most circumstances, Europeans are a whole nother animal. The procedure is a little more complicated. Even getting the software may be more difficult. Now, ISTA is one that's not bad, but I don't really recommend using a JBox with ISTA. Otis isn't horrible, but the process to go through and get it is absolutely ridiculous. Volkswagen Vita is not bad once you're used to it, but there's a lot of module failures, even with using the actual Vita dice, the OE hardware. There's some other one. Oh, STD is not bad for Jaguar or for Land Rover. I haven't had a whole lot of terrible problems with STD. I feel like it's a pretty stable platform, mainly because it's very similar to Ford. That's part of why I think it also helps. And then, the European stuff's just different altogether. So that's a whole nother class on its own. I can tell you I haven't completed that class. I started on it, and I keep getting away from it, going back to it, getting away from it. I don't do enough European flashing myself to feel like I could be an expert to teach it. But I've been trying to write the class, trying to get more into it. It's just every time I go to do it, I feel like I'm writing a class that says don't use a JBox. So my personal preference is to not use JBox on European stuff. Wow, thanks Carlos for the super chat. That's awesome. I never know how to turn. I think I have to turn that off before the thing starts. But who am I kidding? I wouldn't even think to turn it off. 2005 Mustang, does the smart fuse box need to be programmed if replaced? Smart junction boxes, SJBs, or generic like GEM modules, sometimes what they're called, They usually need to be programmed, yes. The programmable module installation function is usually the best. So if the old module still communicates but just has a failed circuitry inside, that can be done pretty easily. All you've got to do is perform a programmable module installation, which is basically an inhale information from the old module. You'll do a hot swap of the module, and you'll exhale the information, the configuration data, and everything back into the other one. I'm not comfortable with anything. Is there any way to practice programming? With the exception of just flashing your own vehicle, there's not really a good way to practice. It's different for every vehicle. The cost. So when we talk about cost, just software subscription alone, if we're talking you already have all the equipment and everything, it's going to cost you $40 for access to a General Motors vehicle for the one VIN number. And it's actually pretty clearly listed on the website that I did say hot swap. Yeah, because basically you're going to turn the key off, leave the battery hooked up, swap the module. And if you're doing a gem module, then there's issues with once you unplug the gem module, you lose power to your VCI. So depending upon the type of VCI you have, it may cause problems with the software, and it's a long story. But GM's, $40 for a single VIN, and it says that it gives you access to flash each module one time. It's listed that way. Ford is $49.95 for 2 days of access for as many vehicles as you'd like. Chrysler is $24.95 for the Tech Authority subscription for it's either 1 or 2 days, can't remember. And that's access to vehicles. But anyways, there's, the cost is different. That's once you already have all the equipment. That's once you have everything. Stephen Hayes says, JBox is fine on UK spec if manufacturer's software is used. Mario says, if I go to a shop that needs programming, I'm not there yet, behind. I'm not there yet. Sorry, I didn't understand that, Mario. Huh. Randy said the module is dead. You can still program the replacement module. You're just probably going to have to download as-built data, and that's an option that's within the FJDS software. So it's still possible, can still be done. It is a different process. The easiest process is a PMI. Usually takes the least amount of after module time. Or after the module's program takes the least amount of setup if you do a PMI. Without a PMI, there is probably going to be other things that need to be done, and that information is in the service information. So if you read through your ALLDATA, your Mitchell, or if you pay for Ford's PTS, you'll have access to that information. So, but guys, it is 4:17. Normally I hang around till about 4:30, but I got a big long 2.5-hour class to do over on Patreon because we missed a week, so we're gonna catch up. We're gonna cover Chrysler programming, both the legacy application for 2009 and earlier and the newer 2010 and newer. We are not going to cover YTech 2.0 because it's more of a right to repair thing. That class is in the making, but I have not done enough right to repair stuff to warrant writing a class for it yet. But I will be because I have been doing quite a bit more for a few body shops around me. So we're going to do Chrysler legacy and new app. We're going to cover a really short section of Mazda because it's mainly just acquiring the Mazda software. Beyond that, the procedure is nearly identical to Ford, which we've already covered. And then we're going to cover Nissan today. And like I said, there's an advanced level class. So this Nissan class today will just be a software update. I will touch a little bit on some of the requirements of doing a blank module, but we're not really going to cover that process. It's not very difficult if you just follow the instructions, though. The advanced class will, in fact, cover all of the blank module, TCM, transmission control module stuff, including some CVT stuff, what can be done, what can't be done, all that. So that'll be the advanced class. But Jake says he hasn't seen the email for the Patreon class. Yeah, I forgot to click the go button. It's already set up, so you'll get it here momentarily. The email, which will have the link and everything. But that'll be set up pretty soon because I got to take a little break here, grab a bite for dinner since we're going to sit here for 2.5 hours. So no worries, Jake. the thing's coming. The link is coming. So, but we're gonna cover Nissan, Chrysler, and Mazda today, and then we have after that we've got Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, and Kia. So those are what's left. Hyundai and Kia are a short class; those will be together. Toyota and Honda are pretty short processes as well. So we're gonna kick on over to that, but I'm gonna jump off here, and then around 4:30, so in about 10 minutes, we'll be on the Patreon platform. I just got to grab some food. All right.